from what we started, which is cool, to now what we have. Like, I can work with that, and those sounds alone. Hey, what's up? And thank you for tuning in for another video. Today, I'm going to be going over my top 5 sampling features on the SP404 MK2. If I could put this machine in one word, I would simply just have to say fun. This thing has been really fun to use, and it honestly has a few tricks up its sleeves that I haven't really seen in other machines. So right now I'm going to go over my top 5 sampling features. So make sure you guys stick around and let's jump right into it. Now I'm going to go ahead and sample a drum break and go over some of these features that I want to go with you guys. So let's actually go from top to bottom as I'm sampling into the 404. I actually have my iPhone right here, and I have this record that has some really cool drum shots. And as I'm going to go ahead and sample into the 404, I'll start off with one of my favorite features, which is going to be this mark button up here, which I think is called like SkipBack. And what this will do is, as I'm listening to records, whether I'm on my record player, especially on my record player, I don't have my vinyl set up right here on the desk, but when I have my record player playing and I drop the needle, I'm just listening to music. And sometimes it could be a second or 2 or 3 seconds from that record that inspires me and I want to go back to it. So instead of me running to the record player, rewinding the disc, I could just go ahead and hit this SkipBack or this mark button, and it will capture, I think it's capturing like 25 seconds of record time without me having to manually hit record. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate it. I'm going to just hit play right here. So I'm going to hit stop. I have not hit record at all. I'm going to just hit marker, and it does the SkipBack. And now right here, as you guys can see, it captures a few seconds before when I hit SkipBack. So now I can actually just hit this pad button. There it is. So this is very useful because, like I mentioned, there's so many times where this has saved me, and it just, again, it goes really fast, and it works with my instincts of when I hear something fast, I want to capture that. I'm already there. It's already capturing 24/7. As long as this is turned on, it's going to be sampling for me. So I'm able to kind of grab a loop right there. I'm going to truncate that. And this is pretty low in volume, but we're going to normalize it as we select our loop. There you go. There's my loop right there. I'm going to click this as a button, and let's hit truncate. Once I have that in a truncate or my loop selected, I click this as a button again, and I'm going to go to normalize so it can bring up the volume a bit. And now let's hear this. That's awesome. Now I'm going to go ahead and record that loop into one of these empty pads. Let's put it on pad 13. And now I have my sample loop right here. And just like that, I already have my loop. Again, it just moves one step out of the way of me having to go into a sample editor or me going into a sampler, then hit record. Like, that gets pushed out the way. I'm able just to have fun, listen to music, and when something strikes me, I can just hit marker and it grabs that sample for me, which saves me a lot of time. Now, my second favorite feature is going to be how easy it is to pitch up or down. Not only to pitch up or down, but adjusting the tempo of your loop really fast. Is not complicated. All you have to do is, once we have this loop selected, which we have a 1-bar loop, we jump into pitch speed. And in order for us to detect the BPM of that loop, right here, the bottom right-hand side corner where it says auto, I'm going to go from auto and switch it to manual. Once I'm on manual, I can use this pad tap as I play back this loop, and I'm going to just tap out the tempo of what that is. So it's about 76 beats per minute. Right now it has me at 76.1. I'm gonna go ahead and switch that just to 76 to round it off to the nearest number. And once we have this pad or this loop at 76, we know that the BPM is at 76. Now we're able to go up here to your speed or your pitch, and you can pitch up or down. And as you're pitching up or down, as you see the BPM right here, it's at 0, it's at 76. That's the original tempo without pitching up or down. Now, if I want to go down, let's say to 70 beats per minute, I can hold down shift. I'm gonna bring it up to about 70 beats per minute. Boom, right there. It's about 70 beats per minute. Now it went from 76 beats per minute. Now it's at 70 beats per minute. So that's been really fun to use. I love this workflow on just being able to pitch up or down and seeing in real time your beats per minute adjusting. Now for my third favorite feature with sampling is gonna have to be this BPM Sinc button. This thing has been very convenient while you're sampling, making music, working with different samples from different records, trying to match the tempo from this record with that one. Like, this BPM Sinc has been awesome. So let's say I have this drum loop right here, which is a 1-bar loop. You just gotta make sure you're selecting your loops, you're detecting the BPM the way we've been doing it. Once you have those loops, let's say we have a drum break, and let's just say we have another sample up here. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and sample something really quick. I was not even planning on doing this. I'm not trying to make a beat, but I'm gonna go ahead and sample another song. I don't know what I'm gonna sample, but whatever it lands on, let's get that. Oh, damn, that sounded pretty cool. So I got another loop up here. I mean, I'm not really trying to make a beat out of this, but just to demonstrate, this loop is probably gonna be at a different BPM. I'm gonna tap this out right now with you guys. So this is at 114 beats per minute, total different beats per minute. This is at 76, this is at 114. Now this BPM Sinc, as long as you have your loop selected with the BPM, the tempo, and they're at a perfect 1 or 2-bar loops or whatever you guys are selecting, automatically, if you hit BPM Sinc, it will automatically sync up the BPM of these loops to whatever your project tempo is at. In order for us to switch the project tempo, we go to Shift Tempo or Tap Tempo, and right here we're selected on Project. And right now, let's say my project, I want to work with 80 beats per minute. So say my project is at 80 beats per minute, my drum break is at 76 beats per minute, and this other horns loop is at 114 beats per minute. So this thing is like all over the place. But the cool thing about BPM Sinc, if I select BPM Sinc, bam, once I have that selected, as long as these two samples were detected, if I play these two pads, they should be playing just about right with the BPM. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this too, and hopefully it plays in sync. So that's actually really cool that you're able to do that within a click of a button. Now, if I hit BPM Sinc again, it's going to undo that, and it's back to its normal pitch, normal speed, and obviously they are not synced up. Now this next feature that I'm gonna go over is going to be the resample method within the 404. Yes, we know we can resample and we've seen it happen a lot, but this is definitely something that I use a lot, since my main use with the 404 as of right now has been running some drums through this machine, finessing the sound, putting some texture, adding some crunch to it, resampling that into another pad, and chopping that up with that sound that I have, and coming up with some interesting loops and drum breaks and grooves that I would have never thought of if I did not use the resample method using the effects that it has. So let's say right now, this drum break, it sounds good. This is the original sound. Not bad, but it sounds pretty boring to me. What I would do, and the way I use this resample method, I've already done this just to save us some time, but if I go to my shift pad 16 with it, which is my FX settings, I'll go to my favorites one, which on my favorites one, I have a cassette simulator and an equalizer. So what this is going to do, this is going to add some like punch to my sample. Once I have that engaged, I simply just hit resample, and I'm going to hit an empty pad, and I'm going to grab this so we could resample it with those sound effects. So now that I did that, I'm going to go back to Shift Pad 16, and I'm going to turn off my favorites. I don't want to hear that because then it's going to double up and it's going to sound pretty crazy. But now we have that same drum break, but with some texture added to it. And now this is how it sounded before. So that's a big difference. Now, what I would do after that, I will actually even go ahead and resample that one more time and add a little bit more to this drum break. So I'll go back to my Shift Pad 16, go to my favorites number 2, which will be the 404 vinyl simulator and another cassette simulator, which will sound like this. So let's go ahead and resample that. Hit resample, get an empty pad. And now we have that on pad 10. Now let's go ahead and turn this off. So now we have 3 different versions. We have the clean version. Then we have the resample 1. Resample 2. Now going over my 5th favorite sampling feature is going to be the chop mode. So once I have that resampled, I go to Shift Start End, and now I'm on my chop mode, which I'm gonna go ahead and start slicing this up so then I can recreate my own groove so it could sound a little bit different. And right here, as I hit this pad, is gonna start, and as I hit the second pad, it's gonna start doing my chops for me. So let's go ahead and do that. So right here, I have a 1-bar loop that I can start playing with. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it does sound a little choppy, which is cool because now being in this mode, before I commit to these slices, I can jump in and perfect the start point of these slices just so I make sure I'm on the downbeat. Once we have our start point where we want it to be, I go ahead and click this as a button, assign to pad, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw those first 4 chops in pad 5, 6, 7, and 8. Or hit do it, and then we have those chops right here. So as you guys can see with those 5 features that I really enjoy, I'm able to recreate my own sounds as I'm sampling into this machine from what we started, which is cool, to now what we have. Like, I can work with that, and those sounds alone of that drum break that I have will spark creativity when it comes down to sampling. If I were to grab that and start looping that, and now I'm listening to other records, bring that into here with that type of sound, to me, that is very inspirational. I enjoy the sounds that I'm getting from this machine. So this has definitely been fun and full of creativity. When I just think of something and want to recreate something, it's just something that I'm able to do really fast. So there you guys have it. Let me know if you guys have a 404 Mark II. I want to know down in the comments, what are some of your favorite features that I might have not covered in this video? Because like I said, I learned a lot from you guys, and you guys have so many other amazing tools that I might not have covered in this video. So make sure you guys let us know down in the comments. And also, if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in and making it this far. Make sure you guys give this a thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll catch y'all on our next video. Peace.